Okay, so I'm here with Cecilia Zandalasini, and you're currently in Turkey, right? This is your second time around in Turkey, and you're playing for Galatasaray. Now, what convinced you to sign with the team from Istanbul?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, the fact that I had already been in the city and I kind of knew how it is here in Istanbul was a key fact. And other than that, they just wanted to build a very good team. The mission is always to beat Fenerbahce in the Turkish league, but as well they want to do great things in Eurocup. So be a real contender to take the cup was for sure one thing that catch my eye, and I was really excited that they called me after my season in Bologna. I didn't have a team anymore, so for me was a great chance to be in a great club first of all, and then in a very competitive team for sure.
Okay, and this is, as I said, your second time around, and you said that the goal is to beat Fenerbahce. Does it feel strange that you're playing against a team who you've been a member of for 3 seasons?
I mean, yeah, for sure, a little bit. Even though it's been past some quite time because I played 3 years in Bologna in between. So for sure, it would be nice to meet them again. But you know how is our work. We can change team, we change cities. So it's all part of the business, I would say.
Okay. And it's interesting because your career is one that can be described as maybe loyal in the sense that when you're on a team, you stay there for a couple of seasons. That doesn't always happen in Europe, right? In European basketball. So how do you manage that? How are you able to just not move from team to team but stay in place? Is it because it has to be mutual trust, right? Your team needs to trust you and you need to trust the team. So how are you able to build these bonds with clubs and with the fans, I guess, as well?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. First of all, I think I've been very lucky throughout my whole career so far to have found team that wanted to invest on me and trusting me. So for sure that was a big key. And then I think that for sure when you stay in a place for more time, you get first season maybe a little bit uncomfortable, and then when you come back, for example, the second season, everything will be easier from the core, but even outside. So you will have less stress and more time to focus on your job, on practices, games. So for sure that has been a big key for me, and I feel like, as I said, that you can get more and more comfortable throughout the years if you have the chance, of course, to stay in the same place for more than one season.
Okay. And Fener and Galata aren't particularly friendly, right? The rivalry is pretty intense in Europe. So, did you need to do anything to convince the Galatasaray fans to trust you or cheer for you? Or because of like the intermission that you said, the 3 years that you spent in Bologna, did they already forget about your time with Fenerbahce?
I mean, yeah, as you said, the rivalry it's pretty big here in Istanbul and all over Turkey. For sure, the fact that I've been in another team and in another state in between helped, but as I said, at the same time, they were very comfortable as well with calling me, even though I played for Fener. But as I said, it was 4 years ago, so a lot of water has passed through under the bridges. So I think just with time you can manage this thing better. But for sure, there are some fans that still remember me, or they were still a little bit upset, probably. But as I said, it was just my choice, and I thought that Galatasaray was the best thing for me in this season. So that was that was my choice.
Okay. And as I was reading some stuff on your background, right? You were born in Broni, which is a small commune inhabited by around 10,000 people. And on its Wikipedia site, it's like famous people from Broni, Cecilia Zandalasini, like the only person that's famous from there. That's pretty cool. And I want to ask, do you still return to that community? And what has that community given you when you were growing up?
Yeah, for sure. It's where I was born. It's where my family is still there. My friends, my inner circle. It's still there. So whenever I have time in the season or in between season, I always go back home. And for sure, it was a big key for me because it's where I literally started play basketball. I was about like 4 years old, and I just got lucky that there were other kids my age, so we started this little team in my very small town, and then yeah, they always have a very big passion for basketball there. Even as you said, there's not a lot of people living there, but it's always been a pretty cool event where there was a game. So I've always been fascinated, and for sure, that helped me to commit to basketball, to grow my passion, and yeah, for sure, that's always been my place for sure.
And when you return home, do people recognize you? Like you're sitting in a cafe and suddenly people approach you and they're like, hey, hi, Cecilia, how are you? Like people who you may remember from your past, or maybe people that you don't really know of who actually know you.
I mean, for sure, it can happen. It can happen because it's just a small town, so it feels like everybody knows everybody. That's the kind of thing that goes around there. So yeah, it can happen, but it's actually nice because it's people that actually, even though they don't personally know me, they might have seen me around, so they actually saw me growing as I was a young kid to just become a grown. So it's always nice, and it never bothers me. It's actually a pleasure.
Okay. And was it actually in Broni when you decided to become a professional basketball player? Do you remember a moment in which you decided to get serious about basketball?
For sure, when it started to get a little bit more serious, it was when I was about 12 years old. Not speaking about professional basketball yet, but it was just the moment where I had to change my team because since that I was playing with boys. And that is the age where you actually have to go and find a team for just girls because you need to, at some point, you need to divide the groups because of many reasons. And so I went to it's called GEAS. It's a team close to Milano. And so I went there and I played my youth. My youth years I played there, and for sure that was a little bit of putting in my head that I may be good at basketball, I may be doing this for many years. So that for sure was a little start, and after that I actually went pro and I played my first year in Skio when I was 18, and that for sure was uh, my first time that I actually thought that could be my future.
Okay. And what were the players that you watch or emulate growing up? Because you're playing a very modern style of basketball in the sense that you're a stretch three, stretch four, right? You're rather shooting from afar, but you can also defend the perimeter. So, what players were you trying to emulate?
I mean, as I was young, I would always watch Kobe Bryant highlights on YouTube, and then I would go out in my backyard trying to emulate him. So that one for sure, and I love Dirk Nowitzki as well. Uh, so I was really into NBA when I was young. I was watching all these highlights, or in TV we may have a couple of games a week. So it was always a big event, for me and my older brother to watch those games together. As the NBA was arriving always more and more in Europe and on television, and it was always more available for us. So that for sure was. I remember those times as they were very, very funny times. Very, it was very nice. So I would say those two players overall.
Yeah, Dirk was the one I actually thought of, and like I can see those points. Although your defense is better than Dirk's because his defense was kind of yeah. Let's talk about your unlikely path to the WNBA. You've probably told that story like a million times, right? It's 2017, and there are 3 games left in the regular season, and you suddenly join the Minnesota Lynx, right? When did they contact you actually? Was it way earlier and they just kept a spot for you just in case they stayed in touch with you? Or was it maybe like immediately you get a call, you pack your bags, 2 days go by and you leave and you like travel to Minnesota?
Yeah, it was pretty much like that because I remember in 2017 in the summer I played my first Eurobasket with my national team, and then as we returned to Italy after the Eurobasket, I just got that call, and I couldn't believe it because it was something that have never even crossed my mind. I wasn't expecting anything like that, so for sure I was a little bit shocked. I couldn't believe it, but yeah, literally the time to get my visa done, and I was on the airplane to Minneapolis, and yeah, everything happened so fast, but I will be forever grateful for that experience for sure.
Yeah, and you were just 21, and did you travel on your own?
Yeah. I went there by myself. Since, as you said, it was kind of middle of the season, so it was probably still a month left in the regular season, and then there was playoffs. So I think I stayed there probably around like about 2 months. So it was pretty quick as the first time because of this,
Mhm.
and then. Yeah, I think yeah. The next year, I joined them again, and I had the full season there in 2018. I remember my mom came with me, and then I also had a friend visiting me, so I had more time also to to organize this little trip for my family because the first time was just everything just coming out of nowhere, and so yeah, that's how it went.
Okay. And what did you do in Minnesota, like in your free time? Because a lot, I was able to doing research for this. I could read a lot about Cecilia as a player, but as a person, there's so little of you, like what you like to do, unless it's in Italian, but I don't know Italian. Like, what do you like to do in your free time? And what sort of person are you? So maybe what did you do with your mom in your free time? How did you spend time when your mom was in Minnesota with you?
Yeah, I mean, it was just fun, being there with her in a new city and in a new culture. So I think we just had fun finding out new places and trying out new things, but just pretty basic stuff. I remember the schedule was very it was full of games, so we didn't have a lot of like free time, but it was just it was just nice to have her there, and also when my friend came, just to to share the experience with them, because it doesn't happen always every time to being able to live in America for about like 2 3 months.
Yeah. And during the interview that you did with the Lynx, you said that you spend a lot of time reading in Italian. May I ask, what books do you like to read? Like, what's your favorite literature? Maybe some favorite authors.
I mean, yeah, I have a few for sure, but the reading part is just coming and going. But for sure, with all the time that we spend traveling and being around and being awake, I just feel like it's a nice way to invest my free time, especially on the airplane. That you cannot do like much to pass the time. So yeah, what am I reading now? Yeah, usually I read just fiction.
Hmm.
So I really like fiction for about really much whatever. Uh, I just lately I read the last book of Jonathan Franzen, and
Hmm.
I read his like three books. So for sure he's one of my favorite author. And then that I can think of, Murakami is another one that I really enjoy reading, even if it's is a little bit more drama and dramatic
Hmm.
and and sad stories. But yeah, those two that comes to my mind right now.
So Frazen and Murakami. Okay, Franzen and Murakami. Sorry. Yeah, yeah,
Franzen,
pretty cool.
yes.
Pretty cool. Yeah, both are pretty cool. So in 2018, in 2017, you win the championship, right, with the Lynx. But in 2018, you became like a, well, I don't want to downplay what you did in 2017, but you become like an integral part of the team in the sense that you get to start six WNBA games, and 2019 concludes and you're gone for 6 seasons. So can you tell us what happened during those 6 seasons? Meaning, obviously you played in Europe, but why were you absent from the WNBA?
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I would say, some unfortunate event that, just happened to me. First of all, in 2019, I got injured and I had like this ankle sprain in prior to Eurobasket. And then I played in Eurobasket, and, there are such a big competition, but also very tiring and, also very fatigued. And my ankle just didn't hold up. So for that reason, I couldn't make it that season. And then 2020 COVID happened, and yeah, I mean, I just didn't feel like going for a personal reason, or I just yeah didn't feel like going on the other side of the world as there was this pandemic.
Yeah, but the team was
And
it. I'm sorry, because interestingly, the team was still in contact with you, right? Because there were like team meetings online, and actually, I read that Coach Reeve stayed in touch with you all the time.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, we
it's cool
always
that they were, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's cool that they always like treat you as a part of the organization. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We always stay in touch for as much as was possible, especially during the off season to know what was about. And for sure, I was always it was always nice to hear from them. And of course, I was always watching how their season was going. And so yeah, all these unfortunate event. I remember in the summer of 2021, I had to get this surgery on my right foot. So all these things that by playing all year round, you at some point you just have to make choice for your body, and that was the reason. And what happened this summer is that, as you said, we always stay in touch, and I felt like this summer I had. Fortunately, no injuries, nothing to report to them, and I felt like it was the natural thing to accept their call and commit to the team.
Okay, and you had a great season, right, as a team, and you personally also proved that you are way more than just a 3-point shooter. And you had a lot of players either from Europe or with EuroLeague experience on the roster. And do you think that played a factor in your overall success as a team, especially what your two main players were able to achieve with Fenerbahce last season?
Sorry, what you said last time? Last thing?
Last season, yeah, last season Fenerbahce, because you had McBride and you had Collier, and they,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, for sure. It was such a great mix, I must say, and for sure that helped us bond really well. And I think that was one of our key for our success this summer, that we really enjoyed each other. We enjoy each other company. We enjoy the grind. We enjoy all the practices in the gym. So it was just a very fun atmosphere. And I was glad and grateful to be part of that amazing team. I had great memories, and in the end we fell out short, but for sure it was a great group of girls, and it was just super fun.
Yeah, and you ended up one bad referee call from the title, which is great. And now you're joining another international heavy team in the Valkyries. So first, I want to ask you, judging from your first time in the league a couple of years ago and now, do you think that the WNBA became more open to international players? Do you see that, like the influence that the international players have on the league and the way they are appreciated?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's just the greatest league in the world. To me, it's fair that whoever get the chance to be there, it's the player that deserve to be there. Doesn't matter where they come from, and of course, for us European. It's always difficult maybe to choose because one every two summer we have Eurobasket. We play in our team overseas. That usually it's the main team or it's the main, even your main thing because as you go there, maybe you play as a rookie, maybe you don't know how many minutes, maybe you don't know this, you don't know that. But in the end, especially this season, I think that. For example, it came to my mind the season that Phoebe did in New York. She came as a rookie, nobody knew her, and she gained her minutes and she played. She played amazing throughout the whole season, and she was a big key for their title. So I don't think New York cared about whether she was American or from Germany. So that's a great example, and for me as myself and in the Minnesota Lynx, we also had other European players. So it was just fun to see that thing growing on that side. And as I said, who deserves to play is the player that can play there, and it don't matter where you were born.
Yeah, and talking to your GM, your new GM, right, of the Valkyries, she said that the first order of business is to build up trust in the organization because the players who were drafted in the expansion draft may consider the fact that the teams left them open for the draft, that the teams actually left them down, kind of. So I want to ask you whether the Valkyries contacted you earlier prior to the draft, or did they contact you after the draft? Or you can't talk about that really at the moment?
No, really. No, no, not at all. They called me about, I think, I don't know with the time difference in America, but I don't know if it was their afternoon, the draft. They called me in their morning just to, to meet me first of all and to tell me the news about the expansion draft. But yeah, I just talked to them on the same day.
Okay. And next season, if you decide to play in the WNBA, clearly you'll be able because playing like basketball whole year, it must be really tiresome also, right? For the body. You'll be moving from one of the best run organizations in the league to a team that has yet to establish an identity. And how do you are you prepared mentally for that? That suddenly you will have to be like one of the, let's say, teachers for the younger players and also somebody who's going to have to set the standard for the whole organization.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know them. I don't know how they all work since it's a totally new team, and we don't know nothing about it. They just been created. But one thing sure is that the WNBA is it's a great environment. They take care of players. They take care first of the players and secondly also of the our person. So I'm sure they would be a great organization as there are they all other are a great organization because that's how I feel like the league is demanding them to be. So for sure that won't be a problem. I'm sure about that.
Okay. And the weather will, if one thing, I mean, the weather is going to be better than in Minnesota, right? At least when you get to join them, that will be like the one thing. Okay, so thank you, Cecilia, for finding the time, and I
Thank you.
wish you
Thank
all the
you.
best.